Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday, 26th of July. So let's have a quick look at the risk factors ahead of us today. Well, there's not that much. We do have the German IFO business climate at 9 o'clock, and then at 12 we've got an MPC speaker on now. He's due to speak about what we learned about the past 6 years of demographics. Okay, I don't think that's going to be moving too much at 12. 9 o'clock, well, we could see the euro moving a little at 12. Really, the big focus of this week will be on Wednesday evening there at 7 o'clock, the FOMC statement. So that's where we sit at the moment. In terms of risk, let's look at the currencies first. And well, euro on Friday, pretty doji-ish. Spot in the middle there, really not knowing where to go. And well, this morning it's well, just chipped into 8 o'clock. We've had this move into the weekly pivot here, and it looked a bit soft to me. I thought we might see a bit more of a rollover, but it's bearish engulfing candle as pointed out to me. Maybe if it does break below this trend line, even maybe the safest place, because you'd have taken out most of those other lows then. So maybe if we see a break of that, we'll get a continuation. It could be one of those days, a bit like Friday really, where it just really chopped, spent most of the day chopping. Anyway, that's where we are on the euro. Looks soft, everything's really pointing south side, lower highs, lower lows here through the market. So I'd prefer to be on the short side of the euro dollar. The pound seems to have held up a little bit inside bar, although bearish on Friday, but it's still a inside bar. Some will be looking at this and thinking it's a bit of a bearish harami, maybe, where it sits and how it sits. Come down to the 4 hourly, so it looks a bit flaggy. It's a bit of a mixed bag here, and it's bring the trend line into place here. You see the trend line across here, and then there's the bottom part of the movement just coming in here. Now we could see it just sort of roll over back to, I'm looking at the weekly pivot as a possible draw, but the pound's just had that edge on the euro in terms of pushing up and having the overall strength, and it may just break out with this sort of pennant and push continue upwards. Dollar yen, well, this would suggest money going into safety this morning. What we've seen, it's a bit of a down bar at the moment. The daily we pushed on through, bit of a tip over here. Did expect more coming out from that previous break there, but we do have the weekly pivot below, which could be a draw if it continues in the direction it's been going here. It's put a lower high, confirmed lower high coming through on the 60 minutes, and does look soft. Now, as I said, with the bond market, you just watch the bond yields. It's just taken a little chip up. Actually, I just saw it just chip up a little bit, but bonds, the yields. Very low at the moment, and well, it dipped up. I think it could be a bit of a frustrating couple of days leading, or even on Wednesday, leading to FOMC statement. Although it's not expected until September that we see something a bit more concrete, we never know. The numbers may force them to do something first. Aussie dollar, bearish day on Friday. Well, seeing a continuation of that at the moment. Big picture of the Aussie is lower highs, lower lows in the main. We have had this bit of a bounce on the showing on the 4 hourlies, but sorry, just come back to dailies there. It's pretty insignificant in the bigger scheme of things, and it looks pretty soft. Coming down to the hourly time frame, then lots of consolidations for the Asian session, bit of a sell-off on the 7 o'clock bar, but again we're seeing a bit of a bounce at the moment. Maybe I mean, it's a bearish engulfing in terms of the bodies. Maybe if it breaks to the low side of that, we'll see a continuation to the downside. It's yeah, quite a solid sell-off there at 1 o'clock. Okay, that's the Aussie Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar really, well, it's graveyard doji, and well, in the moment not doing too much, really in a consolidation zone here. And when you look at it, there we go, just slightly rising, high lows, higher highs just being confirmed there, but it's, it's a tricky old one at the moment. It does have its weekly pivot above, which could draw if it starts moving. Often is targeted, but when you look at it like this, it's, with the lower highs in there, I do wonder if it'll roll at some stage. But there we are. That's a Canadian dollar. The bigger picture had been up, but it certainly has turned the corner a little bit in my book here on the dailies. Well, it's still, I suppose, on the dailies, still in an upward trend. Just okay. Moving a couple of cross pairs, euro yen this morning. Just looking at this daily picture here, just coming off a little this earlier part this morning, catching a bounce at the moment, but lower highs coming through. Real struggling point there at that 130.17, going through the end of last week. That sort of area provided resistance. We could, well, it may just roll over a little bit more. The euro does look soft, and if we're seeing sort of money running a bit towards the yen, well, I would expect this to run over as well. Just looking at how weak the euro is compared to the pound, for example, and just looking at a 60-minute chart, you see how it's been dipping down. Has actually just picked up in the last last 7 minutes then, but it was looking very soft earlier. Has got a weekly pivot above. May just want to get back towards that, and that might be the point of a potential sell. Okay, that's the currencies. Let's have a look through other markets. I'm going to go straight into commodities, then we'll look at the equity markets. So commodity wise, keep scratching my head with gold. It is in this holding position. It's consolidated and not really given too much clue. Lower highs, lower lows on the 4 hourly might be its best clue, but it's sitting at the top, towards the top end of those, not out of the complete trend. Let's just pop that trend line across here. So not above that trend. That would obviously be much more bullish, but where it's sitting, it's just sort of sitting up there, just putting a little this bullish bar here, just after the midnight bar, and then it's sort of followed through a little bit there. Might have something more in the gas tank, but at the moment it's just, again, we've seen this horizontal resistance coming into play, and well, sitting around the 1800 area, 1810 area. So where that will go, my preference looking back at the 4 hour is to the downside, but it may still have legs. Okay, that's gold. Oil. So oil made a decent bounce last week in the end, running into Friday, which was a dull old day on the markets, and a little consolidation, or expanding sort of wedge pattern. Who knows wherever that's going. At the moment it looks like to the downside, but then probably back up to the upside. Let's just have, oops, gone down too far here. I've lost my 60-minute. There we are. Got my charts in the wrong order. Okay, so yeah, selling off here. It might give an opportunity in terms of a retracement into the key moving averages here, and then perhaps a sell-off, but I would be tempted to look at that later. But it's certainly got the some signs of weakness, even though it's had a decent bounce. Bearish engulfing at the moment. Anyway, right, let's have a look at the other markets then. I'm going to bring in the well, it's going to be crypto first, because it's sitting here, and we've seen over the weekend, we saw it last week already starting there, the beginnings of a decent bounce, and it has actually bounced quite nicely. We're seeing Bitcoin back up just short of, well, just came short of 40,000 this morning actually. So Bitcoin catching the bid this morning. Ethereum likewise following suit here. A break on these markets above those prior highs there from July would be much more bullish. We've already done that actually on Bitcoin, so Bitcoin's looking a bit further afield for a bit more bullishness, and you'd be looking at 42, just over 42,000 on Bitcoin to see that. Ripple, bit of a dead old weekend, but it's not surprising with court cases, etc., still happening regardless of the potential or expected outcome of those. It's not really caught the same, although picked up again this morning. Okay, so looking like they might have something in the tank to push off further, particularly the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, that's that. Let's just have a look at the equity markets. We'll run through them. the indices. Just to have a look at the oh, big sell-off. I've been talking about this for some time. A big sell-off on the CSI 3000 there. Shanghai market listed in Hong Kong. Lower highs, lower lows, real big sell-off there. FTSE this morning just coming off marginally at the moment, so it's had a much better time of things, still holding up quite well. The DAX, same really. Have been pushing up pretty well, just rolling over a little bit. This points with the strength of the yen that maybe we're seeing a bit of safety, a bit of a move to safety. So have a look at the Nasdaq futures here. Just run through the Nasdaq futures. Okay, it's held up pretty well. It's actually just made a new high once again through there, and the S&Ps, the Dow Jones. Okay, that's also pulling back a little bit. Some people may take a bit more notice of this. That's pulling back a little bit. The mixed bag of the S&Ps. Now this one's actually delayed, but it's also coming off a little bit. In fact, the best look at the S&Ps on here, and you'll see the bit of a retracement that we've had. But I mean, on Friday, yet again, new highs, and it doesn't seem that anything really puts them off, to traders off too much at the moment. Still quite a bit of bullishness overall. Short-term time frame very consolidated at the moment. Maybe we'll see some breaks I've lost my 60-minute chart for some reason. There we go, it's there now. Consolidation, moving there, and well, could break either way here at the moment. Has got a weekly pivot right away down here at 40, 43, 46, but there's little to push it in that direction at the moment. But it just has put a lower high in on this time. When you look at the smaller time frame, you see the detail sometimes that's behind the big time frames. It just has put that lower time frame. It really depends on where it pushes from, where it's sitting at the moment. Almost in the way the pattern is, I'd expect maybe more to the downside, but as it sits there, it's probably breaking out of a trend as well. It has broken out of the trend there, but mainly by going sideward. Okay, that's it for me. I wish you a great day, and I will speak to you tomorrow morning. Take care. Catch you in the morning. Bye for now.